Hello and welcome back to Absolute Cuts after quite a long break.
Yeah.
Not for you, because the timeline has been kept. But for us, we recorded a shitload in a week, and then I've been away on holiday for 10 days.
How did that go?
It was good. I was in Portugal. And,
Portugal's a safe bet.
It got to 38 degrees on the last 3 days, and that's fucking hot, man. Like, that is unbelievable. Like, even taking it up, because I was kind of thinking about what the ideal temperature would be, and I reckon 35, those 3 degrees make a difference. It's like,
I got incinerated.
Diana Ross knew what she was doing.
I remember I got incinerated in Portugal underneath water. You know
what? You got burnt under the water?
I was underwater the whole. Not like obviously I came up for air, obviously, but like I was underwater. It was too warm outside that I stayed underwater in the backyard pool, and I got fucking incinerated. In my head, I was like, "Oh, the sun."
Where? What? So in the back? Oh, right.
In the same place Madeleine McCann went missing.
Yeah.
Praia de
Luz. Yeah, we didn't go anywhere near there for fear of a repeat.
That's it.
We did, right? We did. I met 3 sporting superstars when I was there.
You put in a few pictures into the group, like the WhatsApp group, and people were just kind of like, "What's happening here?"
Yeah. So the first one was the ex-Portuguese international keeper Beto. Right now, I kind of recognised him, and I thought he was just like if you're like, well, relatively famous, but he's a good looking guy. He was tall as fuck, and there's a certain way that people like that would carry themselves in a restaurant.
Yeah.
So we get talking to one of the waiters, and the waiter said, "Oh yeah, that's used to play for Seville." So I was like, right. We didn't tell us his name at that point. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the keeper that used to. So we're looking at it on our phones, and then kind of went over and said, look, don't want to bother you during the dinner, but is it cool if my wee boy gets a photo? Now, my wee boy couldn't have given a fuck who this guy was. Generally,
great.
To the point where he was surprised that we were taking a photo with him, right? And then it looked so shit because we got back, and Seamus asked me, is that guy play for Portugal? I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he has. And then we looked up, and I heard, and my Seamus just go, 16 caps, and he heard it as well. So you're like, oh no, the guy knows we're Wikipediaing him now. But he was a handsome
he looked
bastard.
Yeah.
And then a day later, we met Peter Crouch.
Yeah, we can't miss him.
Yeah, Peter Crouch, who also has a podcast.
Yeah.
Very similar to ours with Abby Clancy, his wife. I like to think we are the Scottish Crouch and Clancy.
What? Which one's Clancy?
Clancy's his wife, Abby.
No,
which one of you? Which one of us? I don't. But you're probably. How tall are you?
5'10"
5'10", so I'm Crouch then. I'm 5'11".
Well,
so I'm Crouch, and you're beautiful, sexy model Abby Clancy.
Chernobyl Clancy. Chernobyl.
But Peter Crouch was sound.
He seems like nice guy. He seems like he is every time you see him on like various podcasts and thing, you know.
And he's tall as fuck, like unbelievably tall.
He also has that thin thing, so it makes him look proper, like a Slender Man too. Like it's not even...
it looks like he's been like a Roald Dahl cartoon. You know, like one of the. What is it, Fantastic Mr. Fox, one of the farmers and that, just big limbs.
One of the Stretch Armstrong things.
But it
hasn't fully formed back in.
Yeah. And then on the way home at the airport, we met Andy Murray.
I mean,
greatest Scottish sportsman of all
it
time.
has went upwards. It's like you got.
Definitely.
You had it in tears.
Definitely. But it was funny because, if I'm honest, Andy Murray was the grumpiest of them, and that's not to say he was grumpy. He wasn't. He was very kind and courteous.
Yeah.
But he was having no chat. It was very much like all right, Andy, would you mind if I get a picture with the kids with you? And he went, yeah, sure. And I went, thanks so much, mate, we're huge fans. And he went, cheers. And then he fucked off. But to be fair, he was at the airport.
That's okay.
He had shit to do. He was with his family. He was on the way to the shop to buy something. So we'd bothered him, but he was very courteous and nice.
It's always the airport. You spot handsome bastards like that.
Yeah.
I spot who did I get? Orlando Bloom.
Aye?
Man, you stood out. Like I wouldn't have went fucking. Or I know people think Orlando Bloom's good looking, but when I saw him in the airport, I was like, Jesus, I was like, oh, I saw him as good looking before.
Aye.
I was like, who's this handsome bastard? And then I went, oh fuck, that's your man. It's Legolas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son tried to convince me that he'd seen Ice Cube in the airport as well. And I was like, no, like, you can't destroy it.
It has to stop.
Because he's got a massive he's a massive hip hop fan. And it just so happened, like, he was like, yeah, Ice Cube. And I was like, why didn't you run after him? I don't want to bother him. Don't want to bother Ice. As if Ice Cube's going to turn around and fucking pop him in the... yeah.
Mr. Cube, can I have a picture?
Yeah, exactly. my son's got the wrong fucking coloured bandana on, and he takes him out.
It just sounds like as well. You're like all of the white people, celebrities. We can bother them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We can bother the white guys.
What have you been up to the past week?
Well, I found here's one for you because like people always listen to podcasts that we variously do and all that shit, and it's always Eugene's always a big thing about it. But 2 days ago. My dad's 65 now. Eugene's 65. I mean, he's only 2 days ago found out his real name. Now,
so your real name's not Eugene?
No.
No.
Do you remember the first story I told about this? Right.
Briefly, yeah.
So what happened is the original story, and this is what we've found out for 10 years, right, was, when he was 18, he went to get a passport. And they were like, there's no Eugene, Cullen, born here on this date or whatever. So he went back to my grandmother and was like, is there any chance my name isn't my name? And my grandmother was like, your name's Magella or something like that. And my dad was like, Magella, that's a woman's name. And it wasn't Magella. My grandmother just hadn't a clue. His own mother literally hadn't a clue. And in fairness, she's dead now, so she died without knowing her son's name.
Jesus.
So Eugene went down to this mad aunt that apparently named him after a pope, is what we found out. Pope Pius. He was a Nazi pope. He was the Nazi pope.
The Nazi? Not the recent Nazi pope.
No. Pope Pius back in like
There's been other Nazi popes.
Yeah, back in the 30s. Yeah. Pope Pius. He kind of like put his hat in the ring, going like, come on, let's hear them out.
That's a hell of a hat to throw into the ring as well, isn't it?
Let's hear them out, boys. They got some good ideas. They don't like gays. That's basically what he was doing. And basically, he was like, oh, so your name, it's Eugenus Pacelli Cullen, right? That was what he said, right? So for 10 years, we found it was Eugenus Pacelli Cullen. And then, I don't know, some other things come up, and they're like, no, it's not Eugenus Pacelli. You need to find your goddamn fucking name. And then basically it was Pope Pius, by the way, Eugenus Pacelli also was a pope that exploded. Like when he died, he made sure that he was buried like Jesus Christ, as in like not embalmed.
Right.
So popes' funerals they
strapped him to a firework.
They put him in a 3-day funeral.
Right.
And they put him inside the casket, and by day 2, he was dead a couple of days. Then he was in for the funeral. By day 2, they were like, "It's fucking stinking." Like he's stinking. And by day 3, there was too much gas, and he exploded inside his own coffin.
Jesus Christ!
So Eugene's named after an exploding Nazi pope.
So
yeah.
So did they open up the casket, or did they just know
apparently he popped while there were people in there, and people had to like leave the stank of it.
Fuck,
because it's pure gas. Like,
yeah.
So Eugene, anyway, we found out yesterday, so it's close enough. But my dad's real name now is Eugenio. Right? So, Eugenio Maria Giuseppe Giovanni Pacelli Cullen.
Fucking hell, man. It's like such a mafia name until it gets to the Cullen bit, and then you're like, he's
the most least fucking Italian man in the world. Like, he is, child of the Troubles.
Yeah.
It's Ryan, Thomas, Emma, Mary, and Eugenio Maria Pacelli. Eugene.
So there's no Italian background in your family at all.
No.
Yet he's got the most Italian sounding name.
Yeah, he's just named after a mad aunt or something.
That's
named him after a
incredible.
pope. Yeah. So he only found out his real name at 65 years old.
That's amazing. It's such a cool name as well.
Eugenio Maria Giovanni Giuseppe Pacelli. I can't remember what.
It's like an Italian back five.
Colin.
It's-
It is.
Who's the weak link? Fucking Colin and goals. That's who it is. Where the hell? Fucking Pacelli covering up for every mistake that Colin makes coming out for a cross.
Hey, listen, I will say one thing about Donegal. We do goalkeepers well. There's Shea Given and Packy Bonner. So we got goalkeepers and it's all right. That's about it, though.
I just before we go on to the film, I did what happened to Pope Pius with a fish once. I had a goldfish that I overfed, and I didn't know. I had no idea. I mean, it was like a fairground goldfish, like a hook a duck. Remember how fucking mental that actually is? Where you would hook a plastic duck and they'd give you a goldfish in a plastic bag. Like a clear plastic bag, and you'd have to walk around it. You were like you could time it so that was your last thing at the fair. But if it wasn't, you walked around with a fish in a bag the rest of it. And there was just tons of kids walking around. Wait, it's so mental now. I think about it. So then we had this fish, and for some reason, I was given the responsibility of feeding it, right? Because I don't think my mum and dad expected. You don't expect if you've lived in a bag for a while, right? I don't think you're not gonna have a huge. You've got some PTSD going on there anyway.
Every time the shopping comes in.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the fish were like fucking. Morgan Freeman in Shawshank. As soon as he's taken out the bag, he starts unable to adapt to the normal tank, desperate to get back in the bag, starts committing crimes and shit.
I just want to be a carny.
But yeah, I overfed it. Because I just get, like, every couple of hours I'd be like, and fish don't stop eating. Like, they'll eat till the cows come home. And
fish will eat till the cows come.
The fish exploded. I came in one afternoon after a big feeding, and it was in half.
You're the fish.
It was in half. It had exploded in the middle, and like entrails were coming out of it.
Jesus Christ!
And it was just hanging like lifeless. One half at that, and just floating on the top with this guts all over the shop. It's horrible.
Of course it's fucking horrible. Your pet exploded in a fucking tank.
Yeah.
From overfeeding.
Yeah. And it doesn't take that much. Because you wouldn't think, like, it's just the wee flakes. It's like confetti.
Oh, aye, that's
it.
right, yeah.
But then you realise a fish is tiny. So, like,
Yeah,
I'd eat one of those flake boxes, no bother, as an aperitif, but not a fish. His body mass can't cope with a whole box of confetti.
Oh, fucking hell. It's funny that and they're telling you to stop plastic bags too because they're killing animals in the ocean.
Yeah.
But really, some of them really want to live in them.
They used to be their home.
Yeah. If you took the worst hermit crab in the world.
Fish in the sea.
Thank God, a bag.
Can't believe we live in a bag, and an old fish going, when I was young, we all used to live in fucking bags. You don't know you're born.
These new cunts in them fucking non-plastic bags. They don't give you a non-plastic bag. Paper bag now at the fair.
Oh.
You have 3 minutes to get home.
Exactly.
I never had a goldfish.
No. Never fancied it.
No, never. I really wanted chipmunks when I was a kid. My mum wouldn't let me because apparently they never stop. Like
they just breed.
No, just run around.
All right.
Like, and my mum's like, nobody will get to sleep. You'll hear them just running around a cage constantly, going wild. I was like, that sounds unbelievable.
Did you want chipmunks because of the TV show?
Never watched the TV show.
How did you come up with chipmunks then? I'd never heard of a chipmunk before.
You know what? I think it's because it's the only thing that was sold that wasn't fish or a random snake in Gary's Pet World in Letterkenny.
Gary's Pet World. Whoa, I bet Gary's Pet World's seen some sights, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Many of those pets has Gary fucked.
I did Gary tearing his way through it. The best thing with Gary's Pet
That's
World.
why they never stop. They're trying to get away from Gary and he's wandering dick.
It's snakes, goldfish, and chipmunks. I mean, like, it's not even easy ones. You gotta wrap a snake around your dick, I suppose.
You could, aye. Or you could, like,
For the love of God, will you squeeze?
because a snake. Yeah. But I'm not a boa constrictor. That's not what I said. It's not what I asked.
Fucking hell.
Right, we should go to our film.
We should do the film. This one is even going to be shorter because this film is. This is the first one I think we've had that felt like definitely from the bargain bucket.
Yeah.
That is like £1. You know.
£1 is an expense for this.
Yeah.
film.
This was. No, I remember it being shite but entertaining, but it was barely entertaining. Like
I hated every second of this film. I absolutely hate, because I'd never seen it before. I watched the trailer and I thought, looks like alright, looks like a Deep Impact-y Armageddon-y thing, and good God, it is awful.
What did they say about it? They said it was like a better Armageddon. Literally was like the fucking thing at the back of it. Yeah, not better Deep Impact. Absolutely not. It's basically our second disaster film, really. I suppose Independence Day is it? Yeah, the master of disaster. Roland.
Yeah.
I don't even know who did this one.
No, I have no idea either.
We did have. I feel like they spent. First of all, the graphics are terrible. I feel like they had a massive budget, and was a massive budget, but they just blew it on the cast.
Yeah. And I mean, like, the cast is decent. Like, there's a lot of people that went on to do decent things.
Yeah.
I don't know, because Aaron Eckhart is like the main science dude.
Yeah, but I don't think he did much before or after for a while, did he?
Yeah, but he was Batman.
Oh, was that was close enough, wasn't it?
Aye. Well, was he in Batman Begins? I can't remember if he was just in The Dark Knight. Was he just Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight?
I think he's just in The Dark Knight.
I can't even remember when that was.
Was that like 2006, 7?
So that's not that far away
so it's
from
only
this.
like 3 or 4 years. Man,
Aye.
there's a difference in fucking films anyway.
And then Hilary Swank went on to, she win an Oscar not that long after this as well. Like, wow.
Stanley
Tucci. Stanley Tucci in a wig.
In
a hell of a wig.
Why would you put him in a wig?
He's
He's the quintessential perfect bald man.
Yeah,
we all strive to be Stanley Tucci.
Aye.
Like when you walk in, I bet you come home every night to Stanley Tucci and he's wearing like a fucking polo neck, turtleneck, cooking up a dish you've never heard of. Before he shags you rotten.
By the graphics are abysmal.
They didn't even get magma right.
No.
I don't know why I went with magma. Oh yeah, it is magma because it's inside.
Do you know what it looks like? The graphics look like. I don't know if you remember this, right? But when Microsoft Windows, right, when you played music through Media Player, you were able to set up like a video thing, right? And it was just like different, like hallucinogenic kind of fucking things coming out. That's what it looked like. Yeah, because at that time you didn't have really anything on a home computer.
Yeah,
so this felt quite cool. So if you turn the lights off, it was almost like a kind of light show in your room.
It's like them things that you get now and you put in your bedroom and they play.
Yeah. But not for a Hollywood film. Like not to convey the centre of the earth in the same way.
Their idea of it was an actual lava lamp. They lava looked like their idea of lava looked like a lava lamp.
It is. That's exactly what it is. And why their fucking navigation system when they're navigating because they can't go through. They can like so they've a laser on the front of the ship.
Yeah.
Right. That can cut through anything apart from anything black. Right. Like, oh, what? So Hilary Swank's the captain, and she's going in and out through the black stuff. But the navigation thing, it looks like the first Doom game.
Oh,
it looks like that.
It
looks so shit as well.
Right. First of all, if you don't know what this film is, because you do not watch it even after this, don't go. Oh, I might take a wee fancy this. It is literally, and I'm kind of half fascinated by this stuff. I did some of this in college. Right?
Did you?
Like
geology and shit.
Yeah. So when he. Like, there's one part, and I don't know if they'd subtly try to say it, that they looked up in the middle of DC, and they had, like, the Northern Lights there, saying that basically the pole had kind of... I think that's what they're suggesting, that the pole had moved.
Yeah.
Like, if that even moved, like, a couple of meters, everyone on Earth's dead within seconds.
Yeah.
They were just like,
Yeah.
There was so much completely wrong with it. First, like, right, if what it is basically the Earth's core is shutting down... or it's slowing
It
down.
stopped spinning is
Stop
basically
spinning.
what.
And they did it what all Americans feel like do. We just the only how we fix it is we nuke it.
Yeah, yeah, they do. The nuke.
They nuke the center there. Can you imagine reading that on the news? Like,
But also, right, nukes, right? Because surely if you set off a nuke above the Earth, that's destroying most of the Earth.
yeah.
Right? So they're saying that it's enclosed so much, but there's got to be some kind of leakage. Surely.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to
you'd think
destroy.
so.
And then, so you've got fish, nuclear. Like the fucking superheroes that we created in these fish, like fish people.
The mole people, the
Yeah.
mole people.
Yeah.
That conspiracy is true.
But
People live
it's-
underground.
how big are nukes? I always thought a nuke was a massive missile, but somehow Stanley Tucci and Aaron Eckhart managed to lift a couple.
Oh, yeah, and then managed to both get trapped under one each.
Yeah.
The same one each within a 1 minute window. They didn't compensate twice for the thing. One of them rolls across the floor, a nuke rolls across the floor, and Stanley Tucci gets trapped and eventually ends up killing him. But
Yeah.
he basically sees it coming and does a, oh,
Yeah, he does.
and rolls
He
over
does
his
try
leg.
and move out of the way. Like,
Oh, no.
Who can't outrun a nuke on the floor?
A non-exploded nuke. They try, right? But it starts as well with Hilary Swank, and I can't remember that old dude. He's in loads of shit. But like crash landing a plane on the fucking.
It's not a plane.
Or a spaceship.
It's a spaceship.
Sorry, yeah,
it's
that
an
didn't
actual
make sense.
space shuttle. It's no plane. It's It's NASA's space shuttle. They land in a fucking drain pipe
That
in
fucking-
LA.
The Terminator Road.
Yes, it's
It's
the same Terminator
It's the
Road.
Terminator Road. They
Yes.
landed in it. And then there's a part where they're like, they drop the gears and it goes underneath these bridges and then slides the whole way across.
Yeah.
And then you're like, that is the most unrealistic landing. Like, that's twice as bad as any of the Sully shit.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And then, and the next thing, they all get fired for it. They were like,
They do.
Hilary Swank, they're just like, that. You crashed the shuttle. And I go,
Aye. No, what I did was I saved millions of people. That's what I did. Do you know what really annoyed me about that bit, right? It's because they do this thing, right? And it happens in a lot of films where a thing will be coming into crash, land, and it'll be coming for people, right? So in this case, it's a load of these guys on scaffolding. There's a load of builders,
Yeah.
construction workers. But there's always one guy that doesn't quite notice. And then he turns around and he goes, the fucking space shuttle! Like, but how? How does he not know? The way they explain it is because he's listening to music. What the fuck is he listening to? That he can't hear a space shuttle crash landing?
Surely also he just saw like everybody he's working with jumping over his
Exactly, I
jumping
know.
over his toolbox. There were so many people sprinting. He's like,
He's so into this music that he's like, nothing will take me away from the world I'm in.
I'm trying to think of the worst song. That would be ridiculous. Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. That's what he was listening to. Didn't notice anything. It wasn't even heavy metal.
But I didn't even like the two disaster bits at the start, because they're always the best bit about a disaster film, right? Because a lot of people get pissed off with them destroying landmarks and shit, which I quite like that.
Yeah, I like
'Cause-
that.
and I like inventive ones where.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the two at the start of this are, it's in a city, and everybody just not everybody, but hundreds of people just drop dead.
Yeah,
They just fucking.
very M Night.
There's like a guy in a meeting, and he just fucking corks it.
Face plants it out.
And then you go outside, and there's bus drivers have collapsed, and they're crashing into people, and helicopters are falling out of the sky. And then the second one is in London. Just a shitload of birds go mental and start flying into windows.
It never really explained it, like, because I know it basically was like the birds would go wild and leave, but it didn't really explain why they were just flying and attacking people
No.
and going up and down and committing suicide.
No,
Left,
I
right,
know.
And one kid going,
Yeah.
the birds are after me. Also, do you know what they were like? Okay, so everyone dropped dead. It was pacemakers, right? But there was like, in that one square that they shot, there was like 50 people down.
Yeah,
So
I
they
know.
had pacemakers.
I know exactly. I know.
It would make sense if it was at Glasgow or something. But like,
It's an American city. It's
In
not like,
fairness,
but they're
yeah.
not, it's not like they're all fucking massive fat people.
there was kids down.
Yeah. And also, why is it only affecting pacemakers? Why is it not affecting every other electronic thing Why are the traffic lights still working? Yeah, if you've got a pacemaker, you're done.
You're dead. And there's a good part as well. It showed it like there was petrol leaking out of a petrol tank and rolling down to a school bus. And I go, oh, this is going to be good. And they just pan past it.
Yeah.
I was like, that was a good setup.
To blow up kids.
Blow up kids, or get the kids out and it blows up anything, just a bit of, and they were just like, nah, it was fine. It just run off. And I was like, fuck me. And then they come to him, and Aaron Eckhart is a professor.
Sexy professor,
right? And I have written down here because two government dudes come in and they go like, Joshua Keys, and he goes, what did he say? Maybe. He goes, is it a yes or no? And he was like, it's the first one. You kind of like better hope it is.
Yeah.
Joshua Keys. Otherwise, it was just a
waste of time.
It was not only a waste of time. If it wasn't Joshua Keys, it was a rant. They obviously went to find him in class because that's where you'd find him. If it wasn't Joshua Keys, it was a random dude blowing a saxophone. In a classroom in front of kids. He was blowing a saxophone at a rock. It never really explained why he was doing it.
Why is he doing that?
It never said why. He never really said why. It was like, I'll show you a demonstration. All the demonstrations in this film made no sense.
Yeah.
He brought an apple out when he was showing the government guys, right? And then he goes, here's the core and all this shit, right? And this is how deep the whatever is. And then he goes, if that magnetic field goes down, solar flares will, cook Earth. And he goes, I need you, Stanley, for this demonstration. And he comes up and then he just holds a lighter and they just burn the apple. And they go, all right, we didn't need a demonstration for the earth cooking. This is what happens.
He did what we used to do with aerosols at high school when you'd get an aerosol and a lighter, and he did that to the apple. But you're right. As soon as you tell he's not explaining this to a nursery school. He's explaining it to top military and scientific minds in the US government. And he says, what's going to happen is the earth is going to burn up. And they're going, I can't picture it. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The earth and the burn up. There must be some visual way you can show us this. Has anyone got an apple?
Well, thankfully there was a buffet. Thankfully there was a buffet for some reason in this government room. There was an entire massive buffet. Yeah. And it was like, oh well, I get the do you know when they first brought him? What do you call him? The dad, good actor actually. The good dad from Step Brothers, Richard.
Richard.
Is it Richard
Jenkins?
Jenkins, is it? Yeah, he's a good actor, right? But he's in it and he's playing the military guy that never listens. The most common movie thing, like, just blow it the fuck. Yeah. But he brings them in. When he brings Joshua, Aaron Eckhart, and I couldn't tell if it was his friend or dad, Serge.
Oh, this is his pal.
Just a pal,
just science pal.
Just science pal, right? But he just went, when they brought him in, they were like, oh, it's pacemakers. And he goes, well, we think, is this any chance this is a weapon? And he was like, no, I don't think so. And he goes, okay, don't need you, bye.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the highest person in the military asking a college student, is this a nuclear weapon? I feel like that was his fucking job.
Yeah,
to know if there's nuclear weapons.
But also, you've just been taken in and shown about 600 people dead from their pacemakers just suddenly going off. And he just goes, is this going to be a weapon? No. Right, on your way. Not even a cursory, mind and not tell anyone about this, because if this gets out, I reckon 600 people dying with their heart exploding might raise a few questions. They did the trust in that he's not going to tell anybody.
And every file was read with secret.
Yeah.
And every file was read with a massive secret on it. Like, it couldn't have been just a massive stamp of secret. And we gotta, before we get any further into it, there was our man
DJ Quills.
It's turned into DJ Quills.
Quills? I don't know how you say it.
I don't know. Fuck, who knows? Who was in our last episode, Road Trip.
Yeah.
Man, it's turned into a little fan page. He was the stereotypical hacker.
It's called Rat. Get your rat out. If they'd have said that, how the hell are we going to stop this information from going around the world? Get your rat out.
Get me the rat.
He has to hack into the world. The whole internet he has to shut down.
He
controls the whole internet.
He goes, you want to go Earth? And he goes, what, planet Earth? And I go, what? There's a part. One of the guys goes planet Earth. Right, what other fucking Earth are we talking about here?
He is DJ Qualls is my horny wee guy in this episode. Because when they ask him, so he's already been told, what you're being asked to do is shut down the entire flow of information in the whole world. What do you want for it? Right? Now, rather than going, right, like the guys in Armageddon do, I'm never going to pay tax ever again, right? Or saying, like, I want $1 million or $1 billion in my account in the next 5 minutes or anything. He asks for, like, Pop-Tarts or some shit. And an entire box set of Xeno Warrior Princess DVDs, and you're just hacking and wanking. It's constant, just like
hacking and wanking. The rat is out hacking and wanking. Yeah, he did ask her. He goes, "God, I wish I had sex before I did this." He says it one stage. I was kind of open to have had sex before I went on a suicide mission. He did that fucking. By the way, he when they knock on his door, he's a hacker, and it's one of those, he gets the job with the government because he's so good. But he just starts like, what does he do? Like, he goes, oh my god, blah blah blah, and he starts microwaving CDs.
Yeah,
and he tries to stuff floppy disks down his sinkhole.
Yeah. But that right. There's another bit, right, where, because it turns out that the reason that Earth is off its core, or core stop spin, or it's off its axis or whatever, is because they had developed this weapon where they were going to basically weaponize earthquakes, and the US developed it. And the reason they developed it was because if we don't develop it, someone else will, right?
Chinese are 5 years off earthquake weapons.
When the mission is obviously failing, they're going to go, right, we'll just need to do this again. This thing that's destroyed it is obviously the thing that's going to fix it. So somehow through like fucking Snapchat or something, Aaron Eckhart and Rat, DJ Quails, they talk to each other, and he's like that, hey, I've heard about this Destiny thing, what can I do to help? And he's like, you need to stop it, right? So he goes in and tries to hack in, right? Now he's hacking in to the US government, right? NASA and the US government. And he's called Rat. And the thing that comes up to try and hack in is a picture of a sneaky rat. And at no point anyone went, is that you? It's a hell of a coincidence, Rat. Like,
welcome to the Rat Network or something.
Yeah, the Rat Network.
Do you know the part where he's trying to show him cool, and he eats a chewing gum, and he rolls the like paper up, and then goes, give me your phone, and then he grabs the phone, and he blows like,
yeah,
you've got a long distance call forever. Yeah. That was the weirdest show up. Just give me that BlackBerry. Rub toothpaste on it. 5G now.
6G. Not even invented yet. Just invented it. So the ship that they create is the lad Delroy Lindo. He's from Get Shorty.
Love him.
And he's been working on this ship just for this eventuality for decades, and then builds it in 3 months.
Aye.
Just builds it in 3 months. It's a laser. It's basically a laser pointer, like you would do to annoy a goalkeeper at a penalty spot, or the kind of shit that's banned, right, from games and stuff like that. That's what it is. It's a laser pointer that cuts through shit. And he builds a spaceship. And he basically builds a big dick. It's a big, huge dick to get right in about the world. That's what it is. It's like, even when it goes in, it peels apart like that, and it's right in there. Like,
down in the cock shit.
Such a dick shape. It's got a dick end, and then it's got wee veins all the way down.
Oh, that's right.
It's like veiny.
Oh God.
And when they're going down in the water, the whales are going, and it's so magical because the whales are swimming along next to them, and Aaron Eckhart goes, oh, the whales are singing to us, and Delroy Lindo goes, no, we're singing to them. And you're going, this is a dangerous, because how do you know what the ship's singing to the whales?
Yeah.
The ship may have been dissing the whales. Do you know what I mean? It may have been just talking about the whale's mum and shit like that. You fucking blowhole sucks.
Go back blubbering to your mouth.
Exactly. Because I was like, I hope one of the whales tries to fuck the dick. Like, that would be amazing. Like, I hope there's a
sperm whale.
Yeah.
He does the. Yeah, it's not going to be fucking Toxic by Britney.
Even
They love it.
Even the end of the ship, even the lasers comes out like a big shot of jizz. It's literally, it's like the most. What is that thing where you're
Phallic.
Phallic, yes.
Yeah. The phallic. Do you know? Fucking hell. What the fuck was I just about to say? Forget it. Continue on.
Who? Because
your man Sergey.
yeah.
So Sergey gets caught. So Sergey got ocean gated. The guy
Yeah, Christ, so he did, yeah.
got ocean gated.
Shit.
He got crushed up in the.
Yeah.
It was such a funny death.
Because I was going to ask you, because a lot of people die in this film. A shitload of people die. I was going to ask you what your favourite death was.
Oh, it's Sergey, because he starts brave. Like, don't worry about me. Just go. And then he gets on the video machine, and then like he's like chatting through it, and then he starts going like, "Oh no, help!" He gets crushed. He didn't even get crushed that well in the video. Like, if I was doing that scene, I would make sure you seen him go. Pfft.
Yeah.
This was like just looked like he's stuck between two filing cabinets.
He does. He just looks like he's in an overcrowded cupboard. He's like, help! Take the notebooks. Take them. I stay. No, but you can probably get out. No. I must stay. We've got hundreds of time. Honestly, like this door's going down slow as fuck. No.
There's
Take the notebook. Make sure you look on page 3 because my daughter has written.
It's, do you know, a good one, our good buddy Sid messaged me because he watched it yesterday, right? And he said, unobtainium. Do you remember that they were looking for a metal called unobtainium at the start?
Oh, is that what's?
That's the same fake metal that they pretend to look for in Avatar.
Is it?
You know, in Avatar, the first Avatar, they're after unobtainium.
Wow.
So it's a made up metal. They must have just took it. I don't know why you'd have a homage to the core.
Unobtainium. I totally forgot that bit.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Unobtainium.
that's terrible.
I wouldn't have spotted that, but that was a good spot. I just checked it and we Googled it. He Googled it, sent me the screenshot, and it was like basically, it's a fake thing that it's involved in Avatar and 2003's The Core.
The other deaths, the main ship's captain, who was the captain of the space shuttle, it's not my favourite.
Okay.
Because that's the most. I mean, when I'm saying that, that's the most realistic one.
Yeah.
Because they go down and there's just a shitload of, I don't know, stalactites or stalagmites or something. Yeah, one of them gets trapped in the Jap's eye of the ship. Literally gets trapped in the Jap's eye. It's like a gay porn showing docking.
That was
so they
got a Prince Albert.
The guy gets out because Aaron Eckhart's trying to be. He's trying to get it gives oxygen to work the saw and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then as they're both, he's like that. Looks like we're ready to go. And then just this tiny bit of lava just lands on his helmet and goes straight through it and just melts him. He just fucking, and then he falls into the lava.
It shows him going under the lava and then comes back to him a second later and then he goes under it again.
Yeah, how's he in any tact at all? Tucci's death is just. He just blows up with a nuke. He just fucking goes like that.
Yeah.
My favourite is Delroy Lindo's, right?
Okay.
Because they have to set off the nukes because they can't throw all the nukes at once because it's not going to be enough power. So they need to get this ripple effect where all the nukes kind of feed off one another. So what they need to do is they need to put a nuke in each compartment of the deck, and then so the balls go first, and then the shaft, and then the bellhead, and then so each one of them's got it in it. But they can't. The computer can't do this because for a guy working on this for years, there's a lot of shit he forgot to do.
Yeah.
So he has to manually override the release, right? So he basically has to go in and turn a cog so that it can release all the different parts of the ship. And he's going to go in there, but he's going to go in. He's basically got to get out to the. So this is in the Earth's core. And they said it's going to be 9,000 degrees, right? And he's like, well, you can't do that. Like, what do our suits allow it up to? He's like, 4,500 degrees. And then he still does it, right? Now, he's only allowed 4,500 degrees.
that's-
It goes to double, and all the way it shows you is that it's 9,000 degrees as he starts to sweat a bit. He goes outside at one point, he goes, oof, it's fucking 9,000 degrees. Why are you not disintegrating immediately?
You think about how bad you were in Portugal.
Exactly, it's 38 degrees.
Shoes melted after 10 minutes a wee bit.
But it's like when the solar flare breaks through the ozone, and it destroys San Francisco, and it chops the fucking Golden Gate Bridge in half. There's a guy with his arm out in his window, and a solar flare from the sun lands on him, and he just gets a wee bit burnt. He just goes, ooh. Like, what the fuck?
He rolls up his window.
Yeah.
Oh, solar flare, roll up the window, boys.
From a solar flare, he gets the same kind of injury as a guy doing a barbecue without, you know what I mean? It's just so fucking,
It's pretty much a honking pile of shite. What do we have
next week, right?
For next week.
We
gotta wrap this up early today.
This is the oldest film.
Oh.
The reason we have to wrap it up early is because our camera has very little battery, and we don't want to.
1 minute.
Right.
So
next
we're
week,
going to do this.
We are doing the, I think 1960s caper, The Sting.
Oh,
starring Paul Newman and Robert Redford.
oh, good. I'll enjoy this.
Yeah,
I
it's a fantastic film.
don't know if I've seen it. I think I have, but
It's
I
a
don't
really,
know.
really good film.
Great. This will be a good one. You got us back on fucking track after the court.
No, I enjoyed it. It was funny as fuck.
It's funny, but
keep following us on all the socials and stuff like that. Anything to plug?
no, just follow this. I've got roast battles coming up at the Fringe, but that's about it.
Yeah, my Fringe tickets. The Fringe is about 2 weeks away now, so my Fringe tickets are all there. You'll get them all in all the links below. And cheers for keeping watching. And also, if you can, like you said earlier on, a lot of people have been watching the films in the week running up.
Yeah.
So that's class if you can do that.
It helps. You don't really, but it definitely
does.
it adds a lot because you'll have the exact same complaints as we have.
Yeah. But cheers for that. Thanks so much. See you soon.